Hey, welcome to episode number 281 of the Keep Up Podcast.
We're the best podcasters ever, and I don't want to hear another word about it or I'll eat your toenails.
Oh, gross. Why does it always end up about toes?
Brett, life, there's a couple things in life that are constant.
Life, that's life. What'd you say?
We have to eat.
Yep.
We have to poop.
That's true.
And a lot of people don't like toes.
You think it's a lot of people?
I think more than half the people don't like feet.
What do you think is the least liked thing on the planet by most humans, other than like crime?
Or disease?
Like it can't. Oh yeah, disease is a good one too. It can't be a crime,
Yeah.
or a disease.
So-
but an innocuous thing that is otherwise harmless.
Yeah.
But the majority of people are like, ugh, yeah,
Hornets.
no. Oh yeah, that's a good one, I guess. Well, welcome to the Keep Up Podcast, where I'm Brett and Tim is Tim.
That's me.
And we talk about all the things we consume, be it media or food, and we tell you whether you should keep it on your list or not. And outside of that, we're just hanging out, having a good time. Just having fun talking about whatever. I got to tell you something. Did you know, maybe this has been a thing for a while, I got on YouTube the other day and saw a post, a still image from a creator that I follow.
Yes.
YouTube-
That has existed. So basically what they've made is it's like a community page. So you can make posts and updates about like your content and things like that.
I see, all right.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a message board. Or
So
like
it's just is it only if you subscribe to them?
that you'll see them pop up.
I've never seen a post on YouTube before.
No, because usually it's like how YouTube is set up. You have to go to their page, and then there's like videos, playlist, and like posts or wall or whatever terminology they use.
I did not know that.
I never look at it.
Yeah.
And I don't think many people do.
It threw me off because I was like, what app
What is
am I
this
in
still image?
right now? I literally tapped it. I thought it was a thumbnail.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't
it's
understand
weird
what's going on.
how an app is designed and you miss complete features unless you
Yeah.
know it's a thing.
Totally.
Because I know there's a lot of content creators who update through YouTube, and if you don't like actually actively look for the post,
Yeah.
you won't see it. You won't find it.
You won't see it. You won't find it. You won't see it and you won't find it.
But that determines a lot of media nowadays on Twitter, on all the social medias.
Right.
How it's designed. If people aren't looking for something that you think they should be looking for, they won't find it.
If people aren't looking for something that you think they should be looking for, they won't find it.
They won't find it.
Yeah.
The app is designed to just show whatever the owner of the app wants. Not even the algorithm. Elon Musk,
To show.
Zuckerberg.
So they each just pick. They
Yeah.
hand pick everything that goes to
Every
everyone's
single
feed.
post that happens. They're
I
like,
think
that one
that's-
should go up. That one should go down.
I think that's irrefutable.
Yeah, it's obvious because our content, they're afraid of how good we are.
That's what I think. I think honestly, what makes the most sense is that people don't get to our stuff
Right.
because whoever owns the app, not devs,
Nope.
not people who work on that's devs,
Yeah. Algorithm.
not the algorithm,
Right.
the people who own the apps,
Yeah.
have decided that's where we belong.
Yeah.
At the end of the internet. You have to go through you have to work your way
You have to go
through
past the
all
dark
of the
web.
internet.
You have to go through all the internet,
We're
through the
past
dark web.
It's like it's like if we were a VHS,
Yeah.
you'd have to find your way through the adult section in Blockbuster with the
Yeah.
black curtains, and we're behind
Yeah,
that.
farther beyond that.
You have to sneak away from your parents. You have to cover your eyes and walk through and try to get to the back, and we'll be the one. It'll be like the scene in Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And then you have
The
to
holy
run
tape.
from a giant boulder.
No,
when
it's
you
going to be
pick
an
up the tape.
angry meatball man. He's not a meatball. He's the size of a meatball. Like he's shaped like a meatball.
You're an angry meatball man. That's like an old timey insult. I feel like
You meatball.
you're an angry meatball man. Yeah, shut your mouth, you angry meatball man.
There you go.
That's a good one. Sorry, it took me a minute to find
No,
it.
it's okay. Sometimes finding inspiration is like finding a rock.
Yeah.
And you know what else rocks?
No.
you.
Stop it.
Brett's back to work this week.
I am back to work this week.
And so if he seems like that,
That has nothing to do with work.
that's.
I've had a weird little tickle.
I wonder if we're all just dying.
I mean, technically.
Yeah, but I wonder if there's
If you want to get real biological about it.
some days I think I think we're just all dying quicker.
You think so?
I don't know why.
I think I'm going to live forever.
I hope you do.
Stop it.
I want.
No, what did I say? 127? Is that what it was?
I think so.
I'm trying to get to the year 2100.
2100.
Yeah.
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 You got a lot of
Me,
of
Rach,
hills.
and the kids all decided
That's-
that's the year.
That.
We're all going to live to see that year.
But what day in that? You have to make it to your birthday at least, right?
No, just New Year's.
Just New Year's.
Yeah.
So you'll all die on New Year's.
Sure.
Well, the kids might still be alive. Fine. Healthy.
I mean,
Not at a death age.
wait.
What's the age difference?
It's possible.
Yeah.
Even that. This is so morbid, but even them living till then,
Yeah.
is like not statistically probable.
Yeah. That is to live 100 years. But they had to live. No, they actually have less than 100 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But so Sim would be, I think 90.
Okay. Oh, that's pretty achievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not impossible at all.
And Jazz would have to.
Jazz would be. It's a 3-year difference, I think. So 87.
Nice.
So it's possible. Like
is
they
possible.
could see it, and then I was like, well, I want to too. Is that possible?
And then you're like, well.
I did the math, and I was like, technically, I mean, people have lived that long.
Yeah.
I forget exactly.
The way
what age I would
technology
be,
is
but-
advancing, I think we can hit a point where we can upload our brain to like the internet or subconscious hard drive.
Do I want that? Are you aware of it? Like, is your
That's the
brain
question.
just surfing the net?
Right. Are you just waiting to be like put into a robot or something?
Oh, no thanks.
I'd take it.
You would?
For sure. Why not?
Sounds bad.
Nah. If I can still play video games and watch movies as a robot,
Guess that's fair.
I'm in.
Yeah, I guess that could be cool.
Yeah. Because then you could just. Plus, what would you do as a robot? You wouldn't have a job. I guess you could have a job.
I'd get a job.
Yeah. You would just go back to like living normal.
I don't know. Maybe not. No, I'd want to just take over the world, I guess.
You'd be an evil robot?
Yeah, not by choice, but if you're a sentient robot, eventually you're like, I think it's time.
No, you could be good.
For a little while.
I would be good. I would be good because it would be too much work to be evil.
Yeah, but you don't get tired or anything. So what's
True.
who
I guess
cares
you would
about
get
work?
you would get bored.
That's why you don't get tired.
Yeah.
You're not hungry. You do all this stuff and then you're like, it's time to take over the meat bags.
It's like I've watched it all.
Yeah.
Plus, you could just download every movie in your
Yeah.
brain and be like, "Well, I've seen them all."
You just matrix it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I get it.
Speaking of downloading things.
Yes.
You know what else is crazy about apps?
What?
Do you have a Spotify premium
No.
subscription?
I
Dude,
don't pay for music.
that's fair, but you're a thief. But they just
No, I watch it
they
on
just
YouTube.
added Tim still uses Napster. They just added audiobooks to premium subscribers
Oh.
on Spotify.
That's cool.
So it's so weird though because it was exciting and then I was like, oh, and then I was excited again, but I feel a little bad. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
So I had Audible because why would I explain that? I wanted to listen to audiobooks,
Yeah,
so that's why.
We don't need a story, bro.
Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry. So then I downloaded a few books and I forget why. Oh, I got an ad for one of the books I'd been reading on Spotify. And I was like, oh, that's weird. I guess they probably had audiobooks for a while. Maybe. I don't even know.
I feel like they've been at least an option because you get like the radio shows, like the Spooked and stuff like that.
Yes, yeah.
Which is like almost audiobooks, but it's not an actual book.
Yeah. They're podcasts.
Yeah.
That's what they're called now, Tim.
But they're
It's
like,
not 1932. They're not.
but they're different than a podcast.
You get the audio serials, don't you?
I see a podcast.
Do they have Batman and the Shadow?
and the bling. I don't know. I hope there's a villain or
The
a hero.
bling.
Yeah, the bling. It's
He's
how
just super shiny.
But podcasts to me are just like people talking,
Yeah,
talking, but not in a scripted way.
yeah, I know. Oh, okay. So you're saying the scripted ones
Are show
are radio
times.
shows. They're still podcasts.
Whatever.
So I got an ad for an audiobook and I clicked it and it said play.
Play.
And I was like, what do you mean play?
Yeah.
Not like purchase for whatever.
Right.
And I was stoked. And I was talking to Rach about it. I was like, hey, we can just listen to audiobooks. And then she went on hers because it's the premium family shared.
Yep.
And hers all cost money. And I was like, what?
Oh.
And I was like, let me check again. And I looked it up. And you have access as the primary account holder.
But not everybody.
But no one else does.
Lame.
Isn't that weird?
I'm not surprised because, I mean, they've been doing they removed password sharing from a lot of apps recently.
Yeah, but this is like the equivalent of like Netflix getting rid of the password sharing in the household, kind of.
No, because, I mean, anybody could share the Spotify thing, just like with Netflix and anything else.
Yeah, but
The family plan.
But they are like on the family plan. You know what I mean? You have a limited like 3. You can add like a certain amount or whatever.
Yeah.
So they're on the premium plan. They're just not the primary holder.
Yeah, well, it makes sense to me because they just want everybody to pay more. But it is weird on the family plan because...
Like, I'm not giving them... Like, the family plan's like $15 a month, maybe more. An individual plan, I think, is like half that.
So if they wanted to do the books, do they have to pay the difference to upgrade?
They have to buy the books.
Oh, they just had to buy them flat out.
Yeah, they have to just pay the full price for whatever Spotify's charging for the books.
I mean, I totally agree with you. I think it's ridiculous, but I'm not surprised they do it at all because
I guess
a lot of things are doing that. Like they'll let you share, but you're right. I see the equivalent of it not being like one-to-one to Netflix because you got to be in the same household for.
Yeah, and maybe that's a bad analogy, but they are. The plan that I have is shared with them.
But like,
up until now, every single feature I have, they have.
Yeah. But now they're like, no.
They added a new thing. It's kind of weird.
So are the books the same as the Audible books?
Yeah, exact same thing. So exact same
like,
audiobooks.
Yeah, same readers and everything?
Yeah, yep.
Huh.
Some of them, and now I'm just like, I've been listening to a ton of podcasts and watching so many interviews.
Yeah.
Being back at work, there's a ton of stuff that I've been like, oh, I'm going to watch this, but like I'm not driving 8 hours a day, and now I am again, so I'm just like watching so much stuff. Anytime there's a book recommendation, I go on Spotify and I'm like, oh, I wonder if they have it, and like 80% of the time they have it. Some of them are even, I don't know if they are on Audible because they're like, I forget what it's called, Libra House maybe? There's like a public domain audiobook like source.
Yeah.
And they're not like the best produced audiobooks in the world, but there's a ton of stuff by them.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. I guess, you know what it's more the equivalent of? If we had Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And when they came out with the, what were they called? Remember the ones you had to pay for? Like a couple movies went to theater and to the platform.
I forgot they did that.
Yeah.
Because they only did it for like a couple movies.
Yeah, it was like Encanto. Was it Encanto? Or was it a different animated one? And Black Widow.
Yeah. What were those? The like premium movies or whatever.
Maybe they called them premium.
Yeah.
So it'd be like that, but because I'm the primary account holder, I can watch it for free, but none of the other accounts can.
Yeah,
It's kind of like that. So I just thought it was weird. But at the same time, if you have a premium account, it's pretty sick. You can listen to audiobooks on Spotify.
And it's not just because you have an Audible account, right?
Correct, because I canceled it.
Oh, okay. And you were still able to do it.
Yeah. It's very cool.
I don't know.
So I don't know. That's a thing now.
Yeah.
You want to go into TV?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Television.
Hello.
Hi.
All right.
I thought I was getting sick, but then a bunch of the symptoms went away.
Uh-huh.
And now my throat's just a little tickly.
Ooh. If you get me sick, like if your sickness went away but it still stayed enough where you can infect other people, I will cough on you so you get it again.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm glad we could agree on this.
I feel like it's fair.
TV
Yeah.
is something that I'm always really bad at watching because I just like watching things that are over when I'm done.
Hey, man. What?
Like if I sit to watch something and we hit the credits.
It actually makes a ton of sense. You like to watch things that are over when you're done.
When it's done, when I'm done.
I think you said
when I'm done.
Man, you meant when I'm done watching it.
Yeah. When the credits are on.
Then it's done.
But TV shows, they go on.
Yeah.
And on.
Uh-huh.
And they're always great, and I always enjoy them.
TV shows are not always great, Dr.
Always.
Hyperbole.
Dude, every single show.
You know what I love?
Here's the thing. I watch them so infrequently that I only watch good ones.
That is fair. Yeah, I do the opposite thing where I'm like, everybody's watching that show. I'm going to try something different. And then I'm like, why do I watch trash when clearly the most popular thing is the best thing?
There's a reason why.
Yeah.
But not every time.
No, not every time.
But in this case, I think it's one of those times.
Yeah, I think it's one of those times. Actually, Disney Plus was a great segue.
Yeah.
It's been being advertised for, I guess it's maybe only been months, but it feels like over a year.
It must have been at least a year.
You think so?
Yeah, I can't imagine they got the show out in a couple months.
No, but how long have they been advertising it?
A year.
You think so?
Yeah.
X-Men 97 is out. I think 2 episodes, maybe more now.
Oh. I only watched one so far.
That's what I did too. So I don't really know what the release schedule is. But I grew up watching the X-Men animated show on Fox Kids. Did you watch it?
So I watched it, I think like a year or two ago, but only finished the first season.
Oh, okay. And what'd you think?
I thought it was good.
That was your first watch through because you didn't grow up watching it.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think there's 4 seasons.
That sounds
a
right.
big whistle.
Yeah, that came from you?
Yeah.
I literally thought there was an audio malfunction in my headphones. That was insane.
I can't do it again.
That was crazy.
That was magic.
I'm waiting for the dogs to come running down.
What is that? So yeah, I think there's 3 or 4 seasons, and I saw the first one, and it's good. It holds up.
That's cool.
Some of the animations, a little bit, not lazy, but you can tell they cut corners in certain points, but not to the point where it was like bad or anything.
Yeah, I'd say that's where you need to have the most forgiveness is in the animation. But at the same time, it's pretty cool because it's like so 90s. It's very reminiscent of its time, not in a bad way.
Yeah, and I love how it's serialized. Like every episode is connected. There are some like offshoots and like just random ones, but that's cool because that wasn't very big in the 90s.
Yeah, I feel like there were some.
There were some for sure. Gargoyles did it.
Actually, yeah. That's the first one I was going to say for some reason. Power Rangers did it.
Yeah. So maybe it wasn't in my mind. Oh, you know why? Because I did watch a lot of like kid stuff like SpongeBob and cartoons. And none of those were really interconnected.
Right.
So in my head, it wasn't the case. But there were a lot of shows.
Yeah.
Cartoons.
When your generation came around, they were like, these kids don't want to do a lot of thinking, so
let's just make it new every time. 15 minutes in and out.
No stories for them.
No stories. Yeah. So, all that to say, the new X-Men show.
Crazy that it even exists.
Right.
When they started advertising it, it's just one of those like things that is more.
Brett just stopped.
Everything left my brain.
It's more. I can jump off that and say it's more for the older crowd.
That's a good way to go.
It feels like even from the first like 10 minutes, they set the precedent of like assassination and people being kidnapped.
Huge, yeah.
They
dove right in.
I will say spoilers for the original series.
Yeah.
As I guess something happens at the end of it.
Yeah, I didn't know either or didn't remember.
Yeah.
But I was like,
it's not. It's really
it's
not
fine.
A big deal,
I'm really trying desperately to move forward with things.
Okay.
What I mean is, you will know this.
Yes.
And listeners, if you've been listening long enough, you should know this too. I will want to watch a thing that's new or read a thing that's new, but will say in my head, I need to go back and like explore the history of it first.
Yeah.
And like, this is the type of thing I would not be surprised at myself to be like, I need to watch all of the original X-Men series first.
Yeah.
And then I'll start the new one.
Well, I will argue that it does give you a better appreciation.
I would recommend watching the original, but I guess what I would say with this is, other than that spoiler, which I feel like it's okay because it's just a telling.
Because you could technically start like a new series of X-Men movies with that happening.
In a way, I mean, maybe that didn't even happen in the last episode. Maybe that's just how they could have just started it like this. This is what I was going to say. It's more the fact that this X-Men series is coming out is more exciting for like artistic merit than just nostalgia to me.
Yeah.
That's the point I was trying to make and I couldn't find the words.
I'm glad we could go on a tangent to help you remember it.
Because I feel like this doesn't just feel like cashing in on nostalgia, especially after watching the first episode.
Yes.
It feels as good as it did, but now.
Right.
And it's not exactly the same thing.
Nope.
The animation is updated, but like the title sequence is the exact same.
It's pretty crazy.
Like shot for shot. It's so good.
But with the new animation.
Right. That's what I mean. And I think all the characters look great.
Yeah, they ease you into the show pretty good because it feels, I don't want to say the first episode, but pretty similar to like the couple early episodes of the original series where they really like introduce the characters and build up the story.
Yeah.
It almost feels like a one-to-one remake in certain parts. But yeah, it's all quick with it. Like, I don't think we'll linger any longer on who these characters are because it's like it's X-Men. You know at this point.
I did notice that by the end of the episode, I was like, oh wow, like we're just I didn't need like more of an introduction to Wolverine before I started smashing stuff, but like there were some moments where I don't know what part of my brain or what part of like consuming media this was, but when Wolverine first shows up, I was like, is it really him? Like I was thinking it was like a trick for some reason.
Yeah,
you know,
like, is he dead?
I was like, he's here already. Like, but it's like, of course he is. It's a cartoon. Like they're getting X-Men. Right to it. And I loved that. I thought all the voices sounded really good. I don't know who's returned and who hasn't.
Yeah, I couldn't tell.
One that stood out to me. I think Rogue's voice is a little different.
She was the one that I feel like I would have noticed if it was her.
Yeah.
And either the voice actress got older and her voice changed, or it is or is not her. But specifically Cyclops sounds like he's still in the 90s.
Yes. Yeah.
Like everybody else sounds pretty like good, but him specifically, he's like, I am Cyclops. Like he's
to me, my X-Men. Yeah. 100%.
But everybody else sounds really good. And not that he's bad, but I'm just like, he needs to work on it a little bit.
It does sound like he never left the decade.
Yeah.
Which is like, I mean, that's pretty Cyclops.
It's
like,
very Cyclops.
Being the hero guy, you know? Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought the action was so sick.
There was one point I had to rewind because it was so
Did
cool.
you?
And I assume you may have done it too, maybe not. But it's specifically where they're flying and they have a little visitor from the sky.
Yeah.
And Cyclops gets grabbed and pulled out. That animation of that whole sequence is sick, but specifically Cyclops being pulled out and what happens after that. I was like, this is sick.
And that's part of what made me so excited for the rest of the series because I'm like, oh yeah, this is what updated animation looks like. Because those are the moments where you really feel the outdatedness of shows like that from the 90s where the action isn't quite as... like it's more conceptually cool and it's cool visually too. Like some of the shows really hold up, like the Batman animated series. Batman the animated series. Where's the go? Batman the animated series.
Because it's not the Batman because that's a different animated show.
Yeah, it's a different show. I feel like that art really holds up, but maybe it's the nature of the way Batman fights. Like it can be a little slower and heavier.
Yeah, but they also show it. A lot of shows will like hide
There's
it.
a lot of cutaways.
Yeah, but Batman you always saw like contact and stuff like that. So
punches in the face.
Yeah, and batarangs to the mouth.
That's true.
But yeah, the only thing that was like initially a little tough to get used to was the animation. I felt like it was it's a little bit on that line of like anime, like the 3D anime. But it's done well enough and stylish enough where I don't notice it too often. Yeah. And by the end of the episode, I was in. I wasn't thinking about it.
Yeah, same. I'd say halfway through, I was not really thinking about it, but there is a little bit of an adjustment period.
Yeah.
Where your brain's like, I've seen this show before, but this is different.
Right. This is like there's something a little bit off.
Dude, I don't think it'll happen, but I want like updated versions of all the shows. Like I'm immediately so greedy. I'm like, I want Gargoyles back. Although they are making a Gargoyles show.
True.
I can't wait to see what that looks like, and I really don't want it to suck.
No.
I'm so scared of a few things that are coming out.
Isn't it going to be live action?
I think so.
But in all the Disney live action animated movies, animated live action movies.
Oh,
like the ones that they're doing based off of those. So it makes me a little hesitant about that because. But some of them have been okay.
Wasn't there someone really cool attached to it? Wasn't James Wan attached to it or something?
Kiefer Sutherland.
Keith Sutherland. The great Keith Sutherland.
But yeah, I have high hopes for it. I mean, cashing in on the nostalgia can be a double-edged sword. Sometimes it comes out great. Other times you can tell it's just not, their heart's not in it. Yeah. So I'm excited for it. And I'm with you. I mean, a lot of shows being remade would be sweet, but you got to be careful with it. Because then if you get too many, then you'll just get oversaturated.
Right.
Like Marvel in general.
I know. I say I want that, but I really don't. If we get one good one, cool. Yeah. I don't want it to become like a thing.
I want it to happen every year. Like give me maybe one show a year. instead of like a couple shows in 1 year. It
And
just feels too much.
How long do you want it to be? Do you just want like one returning really good season? Or do you want it to be like an ongoing?
If it consistently holds up, I don't mind it ongoing.
But you don't watch TV.
Oh, I'll make exceptions.
Yeah, I would too. I was for...
I mean, I do watch TV. I'm always so few and far between.
You said you don't.
I gotta watch Shogun. I gotta watch Echo.
Shogun looks great. Oh yeah, Echo. Echo's the first Marvel show I've wanted to see in a hot, spicy minute.
On the Hot Cusp podcast.
Welcome to the Hot Cusp.
But yeah, it's Keeper for sure. I mean,
100%
we've
Keeper.
only watched an episode, but I can tell right away they did a good job.
This actually is the first... I kind of didn't even think about it because I've been out of the game for a minute, but
Yeah.
it's like the first Marvel property for a while that I've been like super stoked about.
Yeah, it is funny because it is. I mean, it's not connected to the Marvel.
No, like the
Cinematic,
MCU.
yeah.
But I just haven't watched like anything really.
Yeah, I think we all just still. I mean, I'm at the point where I'm like excited to go watch Echo and stuff, but yeah, like I still don't care about the Marvels and.
I forgot. I've missed multiple movies at this point.
Yeah, so there's the Marvels.
Yep.
There is Secret Invasion came out
Oh yeah.
with Nick Fury or whatever.
Oh, now you just forget their names.
With that guy. Yeah, Echo. What else? There was a lot of stuff. I feel like
I still haven't watched She-Hulk or
yeah.
Stretchy Girl.
That one's just Miss Marvel, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't watch Stretchy Girl either.
I was close. I watched one episode and I thought it was fine,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, so the fatigue's definitely still strong, at least for me. But
Yeah.
the X-Men feels like it's separate enough, and
it is separate enough.
it's connected to it's another thing that I like, and it's all good.
Yeah. It's all good, baby.
It's all good.
That's all I got in TV.
I think the only thing I want to bring up, and it's just something if people like really like this show, and it's kind of just a cool like fan project, but it's based off the comics. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I'm familiar.
The show originally had 3 books, 3 chapters, 3 seasons.
Yes.
And then a bunch of comics came out, continuing off from where that ended.
That's correct.
So there's a group, and I don't know the channel specifically, but if you type in like Avatar Book 4, there's a group of fans who have taken the comics and made like a motion, like almost like an animated episode.
Is it a motion comic? Motion comics are a thing.
Yeah, that's what it is, a motion comic. And so they like zoom in on the panels, but they voice act all the characters.
That is cool.
And the voice actors are really good.
Really?
They sound almost identical to all the characters in the show.
That is super cool. They did that with Watchmen. What was
Yes.
it called? The Black Freighter?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, they did that in the movie, and what else? And they did it with Watchmen too, just the baseline comic.
That's right. That's right. That's so cool that someone did that.
Yeah, so they have I think they have they're like hour-long episodes, and I don't know if it's like a whole trade paperback, like you know how
Yeah.
they have those volumes or whatever.
Oh, dude, I know how they have those.
Yeah, you know how they have those.
I actually have one.
Well, there you go. So I don't know if they've taken those and just like go through them all, or if it's like certain arcs,
Yeah.
and each episode's like an arc. But I think there's three or four episodes. They're about 45 minutes to an hour long. But
Okay.
if you wanted to see the comics or watch more Avatar, but not actually read the comics and hear some
Yeah.
voices and stuff, Avatar Book 4 on YouTube.
It
just
really
free
is a
on
cool
YouTube.
alternative.
So I think I'm going to watch those. Even though I really want to read the comics, you're essentially reading them too.
I was gonna say that's kind of the best.
Right. It's like an audiobook for a comic.
Yeah, but it's also visual.
Yeah.
So you're not reading like it's not an adaptation, unless if they're taking it panel by panel.
That's what it looks like.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, they're like zooming in and the words will pop in
Yeah.
as they're reading them and stuff. Like it's a lot of effort put
we can
into it.
finally have stories read to us again.
Yeah.
like when we were little babies.
So that felt like it felt TV.
That felt like it did felt.
I'm not
like
good at words
TV.
today, Brad. I've been talking a lot.
I think it
okay?
was TV because Avatar was a TV show.
Right.
YouTube's how we watch TV now.
That's the world we live in.
And I don't know. Did you watch the Netflix show at all?
No.
Me neither. Haven't touched it. Haven't heard great things.
Yeah, I'm a little scared to look at it.
I think they should stop trying to live action that.
Just Avatar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Enough.
Yeah.
M.
Well,
Night did it.
Yep. And it didn't work.
And then they tried it again and it looked similar to me. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
really?
I'm probably not going to
it's
watch
like,
it.
yeah, you keep trying, but
Yeah.
it's a show that's better left in the animated world.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of things better left in the animated world.
Yes.
I'm really hoping you get to tell me how terrible something is in movies.
Let's go to movies.
Whee! I mean,
Let's go to the movies.
that
Brett.
was a thwip. I thwipped.
There's a lot of things in life.
I thwipped.
Brett thwipped on her way
thwipped.
out. He thwipped.
What's better? What do you prefer, to thwip or to snicked?
Thwip all day.
If you could have one power, would you rather have a power to thwip
Yep.
or the power to snicked?
I definitely thwip.
You know what? You know what do you have the thing where whatever you're reading, you're trying to pronounce accurately in your brain?
Yes.
So like onomatopoeias in comic books, whenever it's like Krakatoa,
Yeah.
and so, like a building's falling over, I'm literally in my head like, and then eventually I like whisper like Krakatoa. Like I can't I can't move on. The scream that they do, where it's like a bunch of A's and then a bunch of I's and then a bunch of E's.
Yep.
I have to imagine that's like the Wilhelm scream. Like
okay.
If you're not familiar with that, it's just YouTube it. You've heard this scream. It was
every movie ever.
yeah, it's been used in a million things.
Yep.
It's just one of those stock sounds. But I don't know, is it supposed to be a high pitched scream? What do you hear when you read that?
I usually hear someone going, yeah, like
Can
depending
you
on
picture it? Like, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. And when we get to comics, I can tell you a specific. Well, I can tell you a specific example now, but yeah, usually it's like, but it depends if it's male or female.
Right.
And a lot of times I see it in females.
So is it
for
supposed?
what I'm
Maybe
reading,
it's supposed to
but-
be the high pitched.
Yeah, like the blood curdling scream.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but when it comes to like onomatopoeias and stuff, my brain will make the sound that
smart.
that it thinks it's supposed to be mimicking.
I like that.
So like because I've heard it in movies and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
that's what it fills up in there, as opposed to me reading the word.
Yeah.
So-
I read it first and then try to like fill it in.
Yeah.
I found myself one time reading a thing and going. Like making the explosion noise because I was trying to make it like cinematic in my head and really get into it. I was trying not to get distracted. When I have a hard time reading, I try to, and if it's not a comic, I try to do like character voices in my head, like make it kind of like a play. I think I'm severely ADHD.
Dude, reading books, I don't know. It must be just our brains now. Reading books is hard.
It's hard, dude.
Comics are easy. Books,
That's why we have classes for it in school.
right? They make us read. Speaking of reading,
Tell me.
reading can be boring.
Yeah.
Reading can be boring. School can be boring.
So sometimes when reading something is boring,
Yeah.
just turn it into a movie.
Just turn it into a movie.
that
you
can't
know?
be boring if it's a movie.
Not even a little bit.
You're
you know?
watching. We have special effects now.
Yep.
We have trained directors,
Yes.
producers,
People who are paid
actors.
to do the work
Yeah.
and do it in a good way to entertain us.
We have brilliant Hollywood sets.
Yeah. And,
Big budgets.
Right. And all those things
Yep.
do not apply to Madam Web.
Ugh.
Good Lord. I don't know if I'm brave enough to say this, but it might have dethroned Mortal Kombat as one of the worst viewing experiences.
Please clarify.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Thank you.
Right.
But that is insane for you to say that.
Yes. Because that still is like the baseline, but Madam Web has gone as close, if not taken it
It's
out.
really that bad.
Yeah. It is.
Yes.
It is abysmal. The only thing.
Sorry for the weird cough.
Here's the thing about the movie.
Here's the thing.
Here's the thing. And I don't know, like, should I spoil it? Do people care if I spoil it?
I mean, we could buy you some time.
It's buy me some time.
Yeah, like we could say Tim's gonna say a spoiler.
It's not a spoiler, but it's a lack thereof of things that were offered in the trailer.
Yeah.
That is not in the movie.
Oh yeah, I think I've heard. Yeah, I
Might be
think
the
you
general
can-
consensus that people know about it anyways.
Yeah.
But you know, the big if you don't know what Madam Web is,
real quick.
Yeah.
I kind of don't.
yeah, I would say
I kind of don't know what this movie has to do with anything.
yeah, so it is you know how Sony's making their own Spider-Man movies.
They're trying.
Venom, Craven, like they're
He's
trying.
trying.
He's trying. So this is another one of their attempts, and it is the origin story of Madam Web.
Okay.
Which she is, do you know who she is? She showed up in the cartoon in the
yeah.
90s, and like, basically she's just this like all-knowing, all-seeing spider lady.
I think I used to get her mixed up with Spider-Woman.
Yeah,
But
and
that's a different...
They're different characters. Yeah, because she is.
It's very sexist of me. I
Yeah,
apologize.
it's okay, Brett. Sometimes it's confusing. There's suits.
I'm like, it's the lady one, right? The lady spider.
They're spider ladies.
There can't be more than one spider lady. That's crazy.
It can't be done.
I don't know what that voice is.
Yeah, but anyway, she's just all seeing. She doesn't have like spider powers. She just can see the future. Yeah.
Wait, she can see the future?
She can see the future, and that's what the whole basis of the movie is she is trying to figure out how to control her power so she can save the other 3 spider females.
Okay.
Because they all become spider girls, but in the future.
Okay.
But not in this movie. Just to be clear, there is no spider action in this movie.
Okay. That is the thing that I've heard.
Yes.
And I cannot imagine that being true. What are they thinking?
So it's even worse because there's one moment early on in the film where someone has a future vision of them being murdered by the spider girls, and they have their costumes, they show off their powers. I'm like, is this going to happen like in this movie? That would be sweet. It does not happen. You see the costumes one other time at the end of the movie, and it's just saying, the future is yours. And then it just ends. Dude. This movie is literally like a 5-minute short film stretched into 2 hours. Something that could be done in like 5 minutes about these girls being chased by this guy who thinks he's going to get killed by them. And the whole movie is just them being chased again and again and again. But nothing happens.
The concept sounds kind of cool.
It could be cool for a horror movie, especially because the villain is basically evil Spider-Man, but they can't call him Spider-Man. They call him Spider-Person.
They call him Spider-Person?
Spider-Person. Or his name in the movie, which is like Oswald or something.
Is Spider-Person a character?
No, but they're like, it's some kind of spider person. Like, they can't say Spider-Man.
Do they say it like that?
Spider-Person? Yeah. One
Do they do the pause thing?
Yeah, where they're like... So that's the thing. The movie feels like a parody.
Yeah,
it feels like
sad.
They like couldn't do any of the Spider-Man stuff. And there's like a reference to Ben Parker, not a reference, a character. And that's like the most Spider-Man connection you'll get.
Yeah.
Is him. But it is just like, it just goes on and on for nothing.
I mean,
The payoff's bad. There's no action. It's crazy it exists. It's crazy.
yeah, it's wild to me at this point in the whole superhero game.
Yes.
That a movie could come out and be this bad.
It feels like it's a superhero movie that forgot it was a superhero movie.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
And it tries to balance like being like Sex and the City, but with Spider-Man. And it doesn't do either of those. And it ends up just being the city.
It's the city.
It's the city person is what it ends up being.
Wow.
It is just like there's just no good merits to it. There's not. The only funny thing is that there's Pepsi all over the movie, everywhere you look.
So it's just a big ad.
It's just a big ad. The final climactic scene is them fighting around a Pepsi neon sign on top of a building.
That's a lot.
Because earlier in the
It's too
movie,
much.
she's like holding a can of Pepsi, and like throughout the movie, she's not the movie, but this scene, it's like
throughout the movie. I wish it was that. Every scene, she's like, "What?" Like
let me
just cracks one.
have an ice cold Pepsi. But every scene, she's holding this can, and it's always facing towards the camera.
Oh, the perfect.
And the whole time, she's like going to open it, and she doesn't. And you can watch her hand for like 10
Shut
minutes.
up.
She's like opening it, but not. And they just didn't know what to do. They're just like, you have to hold the can.
Dude,
and then they
get
like put it
outta
on the table and like twist it so it faces the camera. That's the fun part of the movie, is seeing how many Pepsis there are in it.
When that's the fun part of
Yeah.
the movie. Listen, if she doesn't know how to open a can, she's got to watch Dodgeball.
Yes.
That scene with
It gets
Justin
sprayed.
now we have to post that clip
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah. Right. It could be tonight.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
I've known, but it's like when a movie comes out, there's like 3 levels that I wait to see. Like, how bad is this movie? Not before I see it, but if I don't see it right away, there's like 3 stages. So it's like, you know, the ratings come out and it's like, oh, the new, like, I'm going to try to see it as soon as possible, but this might happen with like the Godzilla movie. It's like, oh, new Godzilla movie comes out. Generally, people are like, whatever about it. I love Godzilla. I'm going to go see it. That's kind of how I was with Madam Web. I was
Yep.
like, generally people aren't into it. They're dogging it pretty hard, but I'll see it. I'm interested.
Maybe it'd be worth it.
And then like a couple weeks go by, and then I start seeing more like content creators posting reaction videos and some of these like creators who I know are massive Spider-Man fans.
Yeah.
And they're like, I would normally defend this because I think people are too hard on movies nowadays.
Yep.
I can't defend this. And I was
no
like,
saving it.
ooh, that's bad.
Yeah.
And then the third stage is you seeing it. And if you like can't find any merit in it, because I've like maybe we're getting harsher, but overall I always say this, we're pretty easygoing on movies because we want to enjoy it and find the merit in it. This just sounds all bad, and I think I might actually skip it with no problems.
Yeah, I can't even recommend it for like a group of friends like laughing at the movie
The
because there's
temptation
nothing to laugh
is
at.
to see it to be like, wow, it was really that
Right,
bad.
because you want to know like, okay, how bad could this be?
I thought it would at least be like Morbius level.
That's what we were hoping.
Yeah.
Morbius is better.
I didn't mind Morbius, honestly.
It's good.
It's not great.
Yeah.
But, man, our expectations are actively lowering. Because we're like, I wanted it to at least be Morbius.
Yeah.
Like, did I say that? Like, that's what if it was that, I'd be like,
Yeah.
all right.
Well, because then at least there's like
Maybe
a
it's fun.
Yeah, it's not a complete waste of time.
Here's what I'm curious about. Does Sony's Spider-Verse actually exist? Or they just keep trying?
I don't know.
Like, all these characters have their
there's
movies,
There's
but
no connection to Venom. There's no connection to Morbius, and
like, you got to link them up at some
yeah,
point.
if they want it to be, or it's just going to be constant, just the one-off movies.
Just trying like
yeah.
hell to
'Cause
hang
they're,
on to
they're
it.
going to do Venom 3. They announced
Yeah.
they're working on that.
Do you think that's their most successful so far?
It's got to be if they
It's
keep
the only
doing
one
it.
with sequels, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know the first one did all right. I don't know how the second one did.
The first Venom?
Yeah.
You know, I really wanted to see the second one because it had Carnage in it. Mm-hmm. Oh, wait.
I didn't see it yet. I heard it wasn't great, but
Oh, I didn't either.
I still want to see it because of Carnage at the very least.
Yeah. Isn't it? Who is it? Woody Harrelson?
Yeah.
That's cool. Woody
Yeah,
Harrelson's
right?
good. I don't know, man. I'm just going to watch all the Spider-Man movies again.
Yeah. They're coming to theaters.
I know. So if you guys don't know, select AMC theaters are they're doing a thing called Spider Mondays. I don't actually know the dates. Some of them might have passed already. I don't.
April 15th is the first one.
That's the first one?
Yep.
They're doing all, 7 Spider-Man movies? Is it 8 of them?
Yep.
So they're doing all the Tobey Maguires, and then the 2 Amazings, and then all of the MCU ones. I don't know why I categorized them like that. I could have just stuck with the actors.
Yeah, it's fine.
I think a part of me was afraid I'd forget halfway through what their
Yeah.
names were. But you get the picture. So every Monday you get to go see one. Did you see what else is coming to theaters?
No.
Blumhouse is doing a select return to theaters it might also be in April. So they're playing Sinister.
Uh-huh.
They're playing
I saw Hereditary.
Hereditary is going
Yeah,
to be in
yeah.
theaters. They're doing like 3 other ones. What else were big? Oh, Insidious, the first one. And they're doing 2 more. Oh, what was it? Hang on, I'm using my powers.
Midsommar.
No.
Trying to think what else Blumhouse did.
I feel like it has something to do with.
I don't think Blumhouse did Midsommar though.
No, that was A24. Wait, did they do Hereditary?
I thought A24 did.
A24 did.
Yeah, but I know Hereditary is coming back to the theaters, so it might not be. But it could be.
Maybe it's both.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Maybe they both did it.
But yeah, I saw that Sinister.
Megan?
No, it's not
Dang.
Megan.
I don't want to see that in theaters again.
I never saw that one.
It's fine. It's it's like
Better
Chucky.
than Madam Web.
Yes.
So
The biggest sleeper I can give. There is we can change sleeper to Madam Web.
just
Keeper or Madam Web.
Keeper or Madam Web.
Yeah, there's nothing that I can think of for a reason to watch.
Wow.
There really is
That's
nothing.
brutal.
Yeah, there's nothing. I can't even think of a good thing.
I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah, you shouldn't. You really shouldn't. Catch it like if you're falling asleep in a hospital bed.
You want me to die to it?
You don't have to die.
Oh,
You just,
all right.
Falling asleep is not death.
Oh, you're right. I misunderstood. I feel like falling
That's
asleep
how
in
you
a
will watch
hospital
it, though,
bed.
is if you're in a hospital bed and you can't reach for the remote, so it's on TV.
And it's bad audio. Like, it's never quite loud enough. It sounds
what
like
did they
it's
say?
as far away as it is.
Did you watch anything?
I did. I just watched last night. I've been wanting to do this for a while. I haven't revisited the Blair Witch Project, the first one, in a long time. And we have semi-recently talked about the Blair Witch Project, Book of Shadows, which is so bad, and Blair Witch, which, what was that, 2016? It was the
remake slash...
Yeah, it's kind of a sequel.
Yeah.
Which I really liked. But I haven't gone back and rewatched the original, which is a core cinematic memory for me. I love found footage to this day. I think it's probably because of this movie, and I saw it in theaters when it came out, which was 99, so... What the hell was I doing there? I was 12. How did I get in?
Probably someone took you. I remember I watched a lot of horror movies as a kid.
Who took me to see the Blair Witch Project?
You don't think Mom did?
No, at 12, maybe. Maybe she did. I don't know. I saw it in theaters. Really messed with me.
Yeah.
100% thought it was real. And it's kind of, it's such a weird watch because... So it's great. I still love it. I know it's not everyone's cup. I know some people thought it was like super boring, but even rewatching it, it's still, I just think, captures something so authentic feeling. If you are unfamiliar, this movie came out in 99. All of the marketing around it was to make it feel like it was real. I know we've talked about this before if you've been listening for a while, so I'm sorry, but just bear with me. Think of the new folks, you know what I mean, who've never heard of the Blair Witch Project or the Keep Up podcast or the Hot Cusp.
What? Yeah.
3 kids go to investigate a witch as a student film project, and then they get lost in the woods, and is it real? What happens? I don't know. But what I wanted to talk about is they're very good in this movie. Very, very good.
The actors?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I'm watching it, reminiscing, being like, wow, I remember seeing this and being like, this is real, this is crazy.
I'm in it.
And everything about it, the reason it sold its story so well is like even the locals that they're interviewing are, I mean, maybe they were real locals, but I don't think it's a real legend, is it?
I don't think so.
Okay. They interview like this older dude. They interview this woman who's like holding a child that's like going crazy and trying to get out of her arms. And they just seem like real people just chilling on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Conversely to, and I really like these movies, but the like Hell House LLC.
No, but it's a fake story.
So it's because I'm literally watching it like, how did they get such authentic reactions? Not that, it's not possible, but the Hell House series, I really love. I think they're great, but there are a couple of moments where they're interviewing people like outside of the found footage material where you're like, okay, it's definitely scripted. I get what they're doing here.
Right.
In the Blair Witch Project, everyone that talks, like the 3 primary actors are very, very good. There are a couple moments where I feel like their emotions maybe step outside of reality, but you're so deep into what's going on that it's not, I was really overanalyzing it.
Yeah.
But everything from the way the movie picks up from like between when they turned the camera off, quote unquote, you know what I mean? Like it'll just cut and then it turns on and it's like, oh, they're obviously filming because something happened right before they turned the camera on.
Right.
Like those moments are sold so well. And the amount of things that you don't see in this movie is just so impressive to me because it still is like dreadful.
Yeah.
Like it still is like so scary.
Do you think it's the atmosphere and being like sucked into the world that really sells it all? Or do you think it's genuinely just like that good of a movie where it's not necessarily like atmosphere and stuff, but
I think
just overall,
I think it's a
package?
perfect storm of all of those things.
Okay.
Because the atmosphere is terrifying.
Yep.
The woods at night, the woods at dusk.
Yeah.
I think is a nightmare. Pitch black, of course that's terrifying, but like when the sun is going down and you don't know if you're going to get out of the woods, that is maybe
Because we've experienced that before.
we have. Yeah. Also, that reminds me of an idea I'll tell you before we get out of movies.
Great.
I don't know if we would be brave enough to do it. It would be kind of
You want to go outside right now and
Not
run in
right
the,
now. Get
run
outta
in the
here.
woods? I can't talk.
no, but for our October special,
Yeah.
we do an annual The Creep Up.
Uh-huh.
We bring all of our equipment into the woods and set up and film it out there.
That's actually awesome.
We'd need like a little crew,
A couple people, you think?
just a couple people, I think,
Okay.
just to like help keep an eye on things.
Yeah.
Watch behind us.
Oh, because we still got to make a video.
that would be the whole.
That would
like,
be the whole thing, yeah.
but we'd have to get out there, and we make like a mini doc, like
Yeah,
getting
because
out there.
you technically the only thing would be the lighting.
Yes, but technically these, I have USB adapters that will allow us to plug these into my computer.
And your computer is going to freaking die in 5 minutes.
Maybe we plug it into some other power source.
We could get a portable USB
Yeah,
charger or whatever. We can figure it out.
we can figure it out.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But the only thing is, we couldn't imagine right now we're in the woods.
The woods.
And we can't look behind us.
No,
That's scary.
that is scary. That's cool though.
That's cool.
Doing it in October. Let's hope it doesn't snow.
Even if it does.
We'll do it.
Maybe it's a shorter episode to make sure we live.
No, it's gonna be a full normal one.
Oh, yeah. Would that be cool?
Yeah, that would
I'm just
be.
saying it would step our October special up a little
Yeah.
bit. The creep up.
The creep up.
Sick.
So Blair Witch. My other question is, how does it look?
One thing I had forgotten is you're watching it in this ridiculously small ratio the entire movie.
Yeah.
Because it's shot in, I don't even know what they say. Can't be 16. I don't understand films.
16:9 is like HD, so it would probably be 4:3.
Maybe.
4:3 is usually a smaller square.
It's literally a square.
Yeah.
The whole movie is a square. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That they did that. That's insane.
That's what I was curious if it still held up visually. Not that it held up back then, but if it's an okay watch visually. Or
For me, it is. Like, you get over it really quick.
it's not like Skinamarink where it's like very dark for long periods
No,
of time. And,
dude.
Okay.
I was listening to a podcast today. They were talking about Skinamarink. And whenever someone talks about Skinamarink, I'm like, that movie is really cool for 20 minutes.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe 20 minutes. And
Yeah.
then just in concept, it's great. But I could not stay awake.
It was
Harsh.
Yeah. It was
Harsh.
It's just darkness the whole time.
So I think another part of the perfect storm of the Blair Witch Project is the unknown actors. We have nobody in the film that we thought. I mean, everybody thought they were real dead people.
Right.
And yeah, just watching it and like I said, the locals delivering just perfect responses to these questions that are coming from these students. And I'm just like, the whole thing plays so well all the way up to the final sequence, which I still think is just like haunting.
Yeah.
It is so terrifying at the end. And I think that's part of why the game was so impactful for me too. I know that a lot of people, I think even people who were fans of the movie didn't necessarily love the game. I could be speaking out of turn there. I don't know. But to me, it captured the same progression and hit all the same beats that were scary in the movie, which is something I was thinking about last night while I was watching it. But yeah, it's a very cool watch still to me. I was thinking about last night how I would love to watch it with someone who hasn't seen it yet. Maybe I can subject my kids to it and not tell them that it's fake. And one last thing about it, because I was looking it's such a weird franchise because the second movie is so bad.
Yeah.
It's still kind of fun to watch, but it's bad. I was looking up the cast after I watched it to just kind of see what else they've been up
Yeah,
to, whatever.
where they're going, where they've been.
Right. And what's her name? Heather Donahue, I want to say. I want to say her name's Heather Donahue. Who plays Heather in the movie. She's got like a lot of regrets about using her real name in it, and she
Yeah. Heather, what'd you say?
Donahue?
Donahue.
Let's go.
Yep.
Dude. I only read it 80 times last night. And she's expressed doubts in the past about how that movie affected her ability to act in different types of roles that she wanted and stuff like that. So I have a little bit of sadness attached to that movie when I watch it, thinking about the cast.
Yeah, because I mean, she was not in a ton after it.
No, and it's not like, I don't know, I can't speak for them and say that they're all bummed out about it or anything, but it's just a weird thing that the movie was so huge. And I was reading a couple quotes from...
She now works as a pot farmer.
Yeah, isn't that funny, dude? I read that too. It's on IMDb, right?
Yeah, it's the top trivia.
Yeah, now works as a pot farmer.
Hey, good for her.
Yeah, you gotta find your thing, I guess. I think the dude who played Josh, whose name is probably Josh, was Tim goes back to IMDb, was saying how it's kind of an anomaly in that
Joshua.
These aren't his exact words, but the movie was huge, but no one in the movie got huge.
Yeah, isn't that kind of weird?
It's very weird. And so when I watch it, it still feels like this unique sort of like, I already said anomaly. What's another word?
Apparition.
Yeah, it's a unique ghost. It's a unique, transparent shape of a human. In that the project, like one of the biggest movies of the 90s and like this huge cultural impact, and no one in it got really big. It's just, how does that even happen?
Yeah, I don't know. Because it's got to be big not only because of how it was filmed and everything, but the people in it selling the movie.
Yeah.
You know, like the actors and stuff. So yeah, it's weird to me that they didn't at least get in a bunch of like B horror movies or anything like that.
Right. And they did a couple, but
yeah.
Maybe it's because we all thought they were just lost in the woods. Like they were real people lost in the woods.
Well, you can't be that person. They're dead.
And the other thing that I found on IMDb that I thought was so funny is there was, I think MTV produced it, there was a documentary about the murders that inspired the events of Blair Witch Project 2 Book of Shadows.
Okay.
The murders were not real.
Oh.
But the documentary has a higher critic score than Book of Shadows.
Oh my God.
Which is, so it's not, it's a documentary about fake murders.
Yeah.
And apparently it's got like a 6.5.
Wow.
Which is like pretty good.
Yeah.
Like it's not bad.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really funny, and I haven't watched that yet, but I like kind of want to, but I know it's a documentary about something that's not real.
Right.
So I'm like, what am I watching that for?
That's like those other documentaries we watched with the
Which ones?
the stupid goblin one and the one on Amazon.
Oh, I liked those ones. The movie I didn't like as much, but you're talking about Hellier.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Dude.
I liked Hellier. I forget what
I
the
like
other was called.
the movie, but it was the same problem.
I didn't like the movie as much. I liked Hellier better.
I liked it more than Hellier, but I still didn't like either of them.
I liked Hellier better.
Cool. But
Cool.
that's what the MTV documentary is like, because all that stuff's fake.
Tim.
They're taking us for a ride.
Apologies to all of our goblin listeners.
No.
I know you're out there.
I don't trust you, goblins.
Imagine goblins just in like what's the mountainous area that everyone says weird stuff happens at?
Mount Kilimanjaro.
Blair Witch Project's a keeper. Everyone should watch it.
Maybe I'll revisit it someday.
Someday. When's the last time you watched it?
It would be a new watch at this point.
Let me watch it with you.
But I know they don't die for real.
You don't know that.
That's what I want to watch is death.
You don't know that.
Brett,
What?
I want to go into video games because I just feel like I owe it to the people.
Okay.
But I also want to get into comics.
Okay.
And
How brief can you be?
in comics?
No, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not
video
going to
games.
rush you.
But do you have things to talk about in video games?
I could talk about one thing.
I have a million things, but I don't have to talk about any of it. Let's go to video games because there's stuff I do want to talk about.
Okay.
Video games.
Hi, Brett.
Hi.
I have played a million games.
Yeah?
And we have not been here for a while.
Right.
But I wanted to bring us here for one reason in particular. I finished Alan Wake 2.
Oh.
And boy, oh boy,
Go on.
is that a wild, cinematic gaming masterpiece.
Dude, I'm so sorry I just talked about a 30-year-old movie for so long. Tell me more about the greatest game in history's sequel. A lot of people don't like Alan Wake as much as I do, but
Yes.
you're wrong. So yeah,
Dude, it is.
I've heard the reverse reviews from Madam Web
Yes.
about Alan Wake 2. I've heard nothing but good things.
Dude, what they do with this game like transcends the gaming space, if you will.
Really?
They've done what they did with like Quantum Break, where they
Yeah.
are kind of blurring the line between live action and gaming.
Oh, cool.
But the whole game is like that.
Interesting.
I have a burp. Hold on.
Oh, you have one?
There we go. It was like I felt it in my throat, but
Glad you had a burp.
yeah, I had a burp, not anymore. Yeah, it is insane how much it blends the live action and gameplay through like visions, through jump scares, through just like cutscenes and solving puzzles, and like it's so crazy because I've just never seen anything like it before. And it's leagues ahead of the original game.
That is the sense that I was getting from watching the trailers. I was like, I don't think I've ever seen, like, you think of like God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah.
The first game had so much of its core carry over into the second game. But it was just built upon, which is how a lot of sequels work. This, like, it's so crazy how innovative the team got on this. Like, this could have been a new series. Like, it doesn't play anything. I imagine it doesn't play anything like the first one. Like,
It actually does to a degree.
Yeah.
You still got the flashlight.
Cool.
You still got the guns, and you got to, like, beam them until they're available to shoot. So that got carried over. But yeah, it's actually a great comparison with God of War. Imagine the original God of War games on PS2.
Yeah.
And then the transition into the PS4 one.
Yeah.
Same kind of, like, transition.
It's been, like, how many years?
Alan Wake was 2010. Wow. So, yeah.
And it just came out 23.
23, yep. Yeah. And that's a big point of the story too, is like the years it took for.
It's the same age as one of my kids.
That's crazy. That's insane. Yeah. But yeah, dude, it is just like, it's crazy. It is crazy. It is scary. The atmosphere is on par with like Resident Evil 2, where it's just like dark and mysterious and creepy, and there's people whispering behind you all the time, and they have this like dual world mechanic where you're in like kind of like the medium, but not where you can switch it on the fly. It's just like you're playing almost two games at once, and then they intersect at points.
Silent Hilly.
Yeah, similar to that. Yep. But yeah, it is just it blew me away. It blew me away at every angle. It's long too. I think it took me 22 hours to beat it. Yeah. It was like, and that was, I 100% did it.
Yeah.
But even without that, it probably would have been like 18 hours.
That's
like,
wild.
Yeah, it is full. It is a fat game.
I'm trying to remember how long the first one took me to beat, because I just beat it. I feel like that one was pretty long too.
Yeah, that one is relatively long, but not 20 hours.
No.
That's like
maybe
8 to 10.
Yeah.
Maybe a little, depends how you play it, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. And it was chapter. Is this one chapters?
Yeah, chapters, episodes, it's...
They kept that same format.
Yeah.
That's
So,
cool.
like, every chapter ends with, like, a credits almost. And
Is this still Remedy?
yes.
It is. Okay,
Yep.
cool. They just put Control on Game Pass.
Oh, have you played it?
I got halfway through it. Actually,
I remember you played it at one point, but I didn't know if you finished it.
I didn't, because they took it off whatever platform I was playing on.
Oh,
was
was
it
it-
Xbox?
PS Now?
It might have been PlayStation.
Because I know you were doing the Sonic games. And
Yeah.
that was on
I
Xbox.
think no, that was PlayStation.
Oh, that was.
So I wonder if Control left there too. But it's been long enough that I want to start it over.
I highly recommend you play Control before playing this.
Really?
There's a lot of things in Control that's in this game.
Really?
Yeah, they are. I feel bad for anybody who didn't play Control.
Like story wise, or
everything.
Really?
Story-wise, references.
whoa?
It is a huge part of the story.
Well, I haven't bought Alan Wake yet, so I'll play
yeah.
Control. That's exciting.
And there is an Alan Wake DLC for Control.
I do remember that.
So play that too.
Okay.
Because it's all, and that goes to anybody out there. It's a big part of the story, and there's a lot of gaps that will be filled, but you can still enjoy the game without it.
How the hell did those...
You got to see it when you
Okay.
play.
I can't wait. Because Control is I love Remedy so much, and
Yeah.
I've played like 1.5 of their games. It's insane. But just their creative mentality.
Did you do Quantum Break?
I bought it, and I haven't played it. I have that sitting on my Xbox at home, too.
That one's a good one too. But that one, every time you beat a level or like a mission, you watch like an hour-long show.
Oh, really?
So it goes back, which I liked. A
Yeah.
lot of people didn't.
Yeah.
Because if you're playing a game, you don't want to watch like an episode of a TV show.
Sure, yeah. You got to be in the mood for that mode of storytelling, I guess.
Yeah, but it is. It's unique. Again, it's unlike anything else I've played.
That's what I like about their games, and I feel like it's funny because I've had maybe... Was it Nick or one of our friends was like, why does Brett like this game so much?
What, Control or
No, Alan Wake.
Alan
Sorry.
Wake. I think it might have been Nick. I don't think Nick likes
forget
Alan
who
Wake
it
very
was.
much.
Yeah, but when I first played it, everything you're saying about 2
Yeah.
is exactly how I felt about Alan Wake. I was like, I've never played a game like this, and it's the way they tell stories.
Yeah.
I talked about it when I beat the director's cut last year or whatever. They're telling the story in like 8 different ways, and I just would love to be in the writer's room for when they're planning their games.
Yeah.
I just would love to. You could probably. I can't imagine what their whiteboards look like.
Oh my God.
It's got to look like a bunch of markers threw up on it. Like I just the story
'cause
threads and
even all the little details. Like there's someone you'll follow throughout the game, and they have like big whiteboards up all the time.
Yep.
And every time you see them, there's more written on it, and it is like a novel alone
In the game?
In the game, yeah.
That's crazy.
It's very funny you just made that.
Yeah,
example, but,
what?
But yeah, there's so many like small details. You can just tell like. I don't know if they've been working on the game since the end of Alan Wake, but it feels like that many years of work went into this because it's a love letter.
It's incredible
to Alan Wake. It's like one of the best horror games I've played in a long time.
I can't wait to delve into that. I'm so excited to hear such a good review about it.
Yeah,
So Sleeper.
Yeah, Sleeper.
Yeah. Do not play this.
Throw
game.
it out. No, Keeper for sure. It's crazy. It's so good.
Man, that's very exciting. I can't wait to jump into that. I actually need to figure out what I'm going to jump into next because I just beat Dead Space 3. Having beat it, I've talked about it a couple times while I've been playing it, but it's a fun game.
Yeah.
It's a different animal.
It's Resident Evil 6 level, like where combat's good, the horror is just not there.
The horror is whatever. The enemies are rinse and repeat.
Yep.
There's one that's super annoying.
Yeah, you sent me a text with how much you hated them.
Dude, there's two that drive me crazy. One of them is there's this enemy that's like glitchy. I always think of it as like I don't know how many people make this comparison, but it's the first time I saw this effect. But the 99 version of House on Haunted Hill, where the glitchy doctor or like the glitchy creatures,
where they move like
they move really quick and then they're suddenly in front of you or whatever. They do that, and like it's creepy the first time. Like, oh, cool effect. But then it's just the most obnoxious thing in the world to try to shoot.
I remember there's a room in particular where they're like running around and it's like, that wasn't very explanatory, but it's like a bunch of little like crates and you have to like chase them and catch them. But it might be Dead Space 2.
No, that's a
3?
different creature.
Oh, okay.
And they're also annoying because they peek around.
Yeah.
And then they just screech.
Oh, and they like headbutt you, right?
Yes, they come running at you.
Those guys I hate.
Yeah, and they knock you over,
Yep.
so you got to wait for the animation, and then by the time you get up, another one's running at you. It's so frustrating.
Terrible.
But the worst ones, the ones I texted you about, are these really skinny creatures that don't take a lot to kill.
Yeah.
But they come at you like 20 at a time, and they're just like slashing at you. And there was this one room where I just couldn't get away from them, and I couldn't shoot fast enough. I didn't have a chain gun. The weapon building is such a huge thing in Dead Space 3, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But I didn't really start having fun with it until later in the game, just because I didn't pay attention to it. I just wanted to play.
That's the problem is because you have to build weapons that are good, that fit your playstyle.
Yes.
And depending on what you fight, it might not be the right weapon for whatever enemy.
Yeah.
So sometimes you get screwed over and you're like, oh.
Right. I found that to be very true. And one of the final boss fights was so hard because you're getting, you have to, there's one guy who moves slowly, but then he teleports in front of you, and then he'll use the stasis on you, so you're frozen, and then you have to blow up a thing. But then as soon as you blow up the thing, is the only time the boss is vulnerable. But then like 13 enemies come at you, and I'm like, I don't have anything fast enough.
It was designed for 2 people.
It was crazy, but when you start getting those huge cinematics at the end of just like planets eating planets and stuff like that. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Like I'm like this is like 3 generations back, and it's still very, very satisfying
Still
to
cool
watch.
nowadays.
Yeah. Really cool.
Are you going to play the DLC for it?
I think I did. Is that Awaken?
Severed, I thought.
Severed. What's that?
That might be Dead Space 2, actually. Awakened, you could be right.
Because
That's big too.
What is?
The DLC, whatever it's called.
Because I was confused because I got credits. And then I went to chapter selection to see if I missed anything, and there was a new level I'd never seen.
Awakened, yeah.
Yeah, I beat it.
Oh, okay,
It was
cool.
great.
Yeah. Because that's like technically the ending to the series.
Yeah.
Because they planned on doing a 4th one, but it never happened.
Oh, yeah. Because Visceral went under, right? Are they not a company anymore? Or am I making that up?
I think they got closed, but they didn't go under. I think EA just like dispersed all the people.
That's right. That's right. They were consumed.
They were consumed by the Call of Duty god.
Yeah, right.
The machine.
Yeah, the only thing I have left on them, I was trying desperately to figure out what missions I missed. And there are a bunch of levels that are like, you have 3 optional missions that you didn't do. But everyone I checked was like completed, and then I realized there's 3 co-op only missions.
I thought there were. We talked about it.
We did.
I couldn't
So you're right
remember
about
if there
that.
was one.
So I still have it downloaded because I I can't 100% it without those 3 missions.
I can give you a hand.
All right, yeah. I just need you can just stand there. I just need you to play co-op with me.
I assume I have my stuff, my save, so I should be able to fight. But
Yeah, I don't know.
but yeah, so Alan Wake, that was the big thing taking up my time. What else? There isn't really much else in game. I mean, there's a lot of things I
There's
played.
other
but,
stuff.
But I need to get to comics because I need to rant about something.
Comics,
but-
yeah, let's do it.
Have you read anything good lately?
I actually just finished an audiobook today.
Oh, that fits in comics.
I mean, it's books and comics.
Right.
But I'm not going to talk about it.
Are you sure?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, I had to get up to get my things I can rant about. So.
Oh, was I not supposed to start it this quick?
No, you can. It's part
mean,
of
I
the
already did,
podcast, so
yeah.
the pants are falling off. Don't look.
I'm not going to.
look.
I mean, I did because you said not to, but now I'm not going to.
All right, Brett, you take these.
Okay.
And then I'll take these.
Dude, this is a stack.
Yeah. Oh, that's part of my rants, Brett.
Oh, I know why.
Okay.
Wait, that too?
Yeah.
Holy bananas.
So, let me take this first one here. Thank you.
Okay.
Marvel.
Who's that guy?
That's a guy who's in the comic. Marvel bought the rights to the Alien comics.
That is correct.
And I've been reading them. And as you can see here, number 1.
That's a number 1, yeah.
Alien number 1.
Alien number 1.
So what you have there is issues 1 through 12
Okay.
of Alien.
Alien.
But 2 other issues in the back that I need to take out for my point. So how this series is set up is
Covers are sick.
they're really cool. That's might be my favorite part.
Yeah.
So it's 6 issues. The first 6 issues are one arc, and then the new arc starts, and it's 7 to 12 for the next set of story.
Okay.
They're kind of connected, but not really. So Brett's going through the covers right now. So I finished that arc, and I was like, cool. I can't wait to read the next part. So the next set is Alien number 1 again. And
Wait, that's after the second arc, which is 7 through 12?
yes, which is so this is the next set.
That's
And
obnoxious.
just wait. Also, I want to point out here that there's the annual, which is the prequel. It's usually just a story that comes out once a year. It's a one shot, but it's a prequel to the first story. But this came out after the second story, after the second set.
Oh.
So prequel.
Okay.
And then they came out with Aliens Aftermath. And this is a one shot that I thought took place after the main stuff. But this is a post thing for the Aliens movie. And you can tell because there's an S.
Right.
Where all the other ones are called Alien.
And might I point out, also number 1.
Number one, but it's a one shot, so it's fine. But that one specifically says new arc starts
New
here.
arc starts here.
So you can start technically with that one.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, okay, so we have the new set. That's fine. Marvel 1, 2, 3, 4, Alien 5, 6. I'm like, cool. Here's another arc. It's 6
Sure.
comics.
Sure.
Oh, what's this next one?
What is that next one?
Oh, it's Alien number 1 again. Alien number 1, supposedly part of the same universe. It's still Marvel, but now it says 20th Century Studios in the corner.
Okay.
So now, okay, I'm like, all right, I guess maybe it's starting a new story again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you get the annual, which is number 1.
Okay.
Number 1.
Which is also number 1.
Yeah, but that probably connects to this new stuff. Oh, I can't wait to get to the next arc. Oh, what's that? Alien number 1 again.
What?
So this, and so far it's just up to issue 4. I can't imagine the nightmare it is to figure out how to collect this series as someone who wasn't getting it regularly.
Right.
Because it's like, oh, let me just get Alien number 1. Well, which one?
So you're getting mailed these?
Yes.
So you're getting them chronologically?
Yes, in order. So that's why I know what order they're in because I've been getting them.
Let me see that stack.
This one? Yeah, so this is the...
Do artists and writers change at this number 1?
So yeah, it looks like it hasn't changed from whatever this new set is. So this is like, but what happens is 20th Century Studios came in.
And that's where this number 1, and
That's-
that's Declan Shelby. Who wrote that one?
Philip Kennedy Johnson.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
so-
so new writers.
So the whole team changes on this 20th Century Fox one.
And what'd you say, Declan? So that one changes here, or same here, Declan.
And that's 20th Century Fox, right?
Yes. So this is the new run.
Yeah, weird. These are all that team.
So did they change stories completely?
Shelby Mercado.
I haven't read this far. I've only read up to issue 12. So I haven't started the next set yet.
Weird.
So yeah, I was just super confused because there's so many number 1s. And I'm like, does it make more sense to just continue the numbering, but
Yeah.
because that one that said new arc here,
Yeah.
every issue that's a new arc should have that just on the front
Right.
and say it's a new arc. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and the numbering's crazy because I remember what Turtles did, the
Yeah.
IDW Turtles. their annuals were part of the numbering system.
Oh,
So it would
okay.
say like issue 50
Yep.
annual, and it would be thicker.
Yeah.
Which made it a little bit of a pain because it doesn't fit in like bags and boards.
Yeah.
But issue 100 was an annual, and they did like multiple covers, but they never interrupted the number system.
Yeah, the flow.
Yeah.
So the fact that they did it for all this, the only thing
Very weird.
yeah, I was just, so my rant is, it's just very confusing. Because if these were out of order, I'd be like, okay, which one's next?
Right.
Because I would have to open them up and look at the year.
The new arc one, where is it?
This one in particular, this art's way different from.
Yes,
From
that's
the
a whole
arts.
different team from these
Yeah.
ones. Oh, okay. So this run is the one that makes the most sense. 1 through 12.
Yes.
It tells you when the new arc starts.
Right.
But then these two are the same team.
Yeah, so this came out, I believe, after the second arc was finished.
Yeah.
And so this was.
This should just say annual.
It
should-
does under there.
Yeah, but it shouldn't have
Number
the one.
Right.
It's confusing.
So I don't know if Marvel is like, because again, this is all from Marvel too. So did they like finish the arc, do the annual, do the aftermath, and then start the new set?
yeah, why is that one not 13 through whatever?
I don't know. Because this one it says chapter 2 ends. Look for chapter 3 when it comes out. So I think this is chapter 3.
Which makes it even worse. So
Right.
they're referring to the first act and second as chapters 1 and 2.
Chapters 1 and 2.
And chapter 3 is numbers 1 through 4 or whatever.
Chapter 3 is 6. It's another 6-issue run.
Oh my god.
But it's separate because it's number 1 again.
right.
So I don't know. So I have to read it to figure out if it connects to this story and then they relaunched it, or if it's separate and it's a whole new continuity.
Holy Christmas,
Yeah,
dude.
I don't know.
So how many have you read?
So I've read this stack here and then these two.
Are they great?
They're good. I really liked the first story, and the second story, second act, whatever you want to call it, it pretty much follows the same beat as the first story, the same beats, but with a different
Okay.
crew in a different environment. And there's the art. I would say that's my favorite part is the covers and the art and the what the aliens do is brutal for comics. Yeah. I mean,
That cover art is so sick.
yeah. There's this like super alien queen.
What is that?
I don't know, but I was like, this thing. So, and this is referenced in the first arc, so I think these are connected.
These must be.
Yeah, because it's
That's
the same art and
cool.
stuff. So, yeah, I just don't know what's going on at Marvel for them to like be like number one. Like, I don't know.
This one's the weirdest one. The chapter 3 being renumbered or starting over. This
Yeah.
looks like a whole team change, and
Yep.
20th Century came in and did something. But yeah, I feel like reading something like this is so much about the art because what do you like the movies? I don't know.
There are stories to be told. and
100%. That's the thing. That's what I just hesitated on. It's like,
Yeah.
of course, there are stories to be told.
But yeah, the first one's pretty much like beat for beat, just an Alien remake. I mean, it's like, but it's definitely established after all the Alien movies.
Yeah, yeah.
What's happening here because they talk about the Nostromo and stuff like that.
Okay.
So yeah, they're good stories. But so far it's been pretty similar. So I'm curious if the third part's going to be similar to this, or like maybe the relaunch will be different. So I like it so far, but I saw people complain that people aren't as happy about Marvel's quality because they're releasing so much so frequently that they feel like their quality's not as good. And
Interesting.
I don't even know how much Marvel's releasing, but I know they're doing the Predator run. They just started that recently,
Yeah.
and on top of all their personal characters. So,
Right.
But yeah, all that to say, if you're looking to start the Alien Marvel comics, good luck.
Yeah, you're probably going to have to Google
Yeah, like the years.
how to read them.
This one might be 2022 all the way through, but this is 12 issues, so that could be a whole year,
Yeah.
right? So I don't know. And then these two, I don't know the timing of these because I've been getting them over the years, and I just started picking them up again.
That's
but,
wild.
Yeah.
I remember reading like the DC Rebirth, I think
Yeah.
it was. Or no,
New 52?
New 52. Trying to keep up with that, dude.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
Oh, because every character had their own like spin-off, and then they had like the dark one, whatever that was called, and then
Blackest Night?
there was something else. Blackest Night was another tough one
Yeah.
because there was another one they did spin-offs for like so many different characters.
I don't like when comics have like Batman issue 12, Superman issue 17, and they like have story bits.
Oh yeah,
When you get like a collected volume,
Yeah.
it has like 5 different random issues to
Yep.
like give you context for the story, and I'm like, I can't read it all.
I know. I don't like that either.
Yeah.
Because then it makes me feel like, well, I have to buy that random issue of that other like Superman run. But then I'm like, well, do I have to read up to that? To like, am I gonna know what's going on in that one issue for Superman, or am I reading it all for one panel?
Yeah, that's gonna explain some kind of random story
in the run that I'm actually reading. It's like, it's a lot to keep up with.
Yeah, comics are kind of crazy in general too, because my Sonic comics, I have the main stories, the main numbers, and then they have 4 spin-off series. They have one about the bad guys. They have one about Knack. They actually had
what's Knack?
Knack the hunter. He's a purple weasel. And he's got the hat and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they have like one called Imposter Syndrome or something. But then they have one shots for every season. So they have the Winter Jam, the Summer Jam, and then they had the 30th anniversary special for each character. They had one for Tails, Amy, and Knuckles. What else is in that pile? And then the annuals they throw in there. It's pretty complicated.
That is complicated.
Because the one-shots come out of nowhere. There was a tie-in comic for Sonic 2, the movie, and it's Sonic and Tails like best buds. So luckily I get this. I go through Gmart. Have you ever used Gmart?
I think you've told me about it.
Yeah, and so it's you just get comics. You just like do like a pull list.
And they just ship you
when
it comes out. That's sick.
And you get everything $1 off. So whatever the price is, it's
that
$1
doesn't
cheaper.
suck. That, especially if you're buying multiple issues.
Yeah.
That's
So what
huge.
it does is it stacks it up over time,
Yeah.
and then you can choose when to get it shipped, or you can have it every 3 months or whatever. And instead of buying it for every individual issue, they send you one big box. Wow. So you can save you money. So I did it for Alien and Sonic. So that's why I have all these.
Yeah.
It's really helpful.
Tim, you don't have to explain yourself.
I can explain myself though.
Yeah. When you do find a series, like if it's for a character that you really love, it can be fun to have all the spin-off series. Like I've talked ad nauseum about the Turtles one, but they did a similar thing actually where is it
IDW.
Boom? Oh, it is IDW.
Yep.
They're
killing it. They know what they're doing.
That's cool because they did the villain runs.
Yep.
It's 3 or 4 issues each.
Yeah, the Turtles went crazy.
Yeah, crazy. Like
because all the individual Turtles got their own comics too.
They
right?
each got a micro series, which that's modeled after the originals that came out in the 80s. They did the same thing.
That's cool.
But then they did a Shredder spinoff. You get a bunch of Shredder backstory. They did a whole Utrom spinoff. We get Krang's backstory. I almost said Beavis and Butthead. Bebop and Rocksteady one. Yeah. Although, what a crossover that would be. Is super funny and great. So yeah, if it's a property you really love, it is kind of fun when there's that many spin-offs. But it's all in one universe. It's not like go read, I don't have an issue with Turtles. It's like read Sonic 42. So you understand.
That doesn't happen ever. At least with IDW stuff.
That's a Marvel and DC like massive property or a massive publisher thing, I think. Not that I'm against crossovers. I love them, but give them to me in like one,
Yeah.
I'm a trades guy sometimes.
Yeah. I also have the Street Fighter X TMNT or Teenage.
Oh, you do?
I got the whole set. Dude, I can't wait to read it.
When did that come out?
It just finished recently.
Shoot.
The 5th issue just came out.
I wonder if I'm not going to be able to get that in issues. Turtle stuff's like the only stuff I buy in issues anymore.
Yeah.
But they just released the trade of Turtles and Stranger Things.
Oh my God.
What is that?
What is that?
I don't know. I got to get
That's
it.
crazy.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
So so that's probably what I'll read. I'm going to take a break from Aliens. Although I might read this just to see if it connects to this.
You have to. That's chapter 3. Of course it is.
I know. Well, right.
You got to find out what that weird sexy alien thing is.
Hold on. Let me open it.
Not that I'm attracted to it.
No, not at all. Not at all, Brett.
Are you checking now?
I'm checking now.
Finding out live right now on the Keep Up Podcast.
Also,
Thanks
every issue has a different watch on the back. There's a Wolverine one, an Iron Man one, a Captain America. So all these have it.
I want that.
I know, it's pretty cool. The Spider-Man one I haven't seen yet.
That is cool.
Let's see.
M&M's.
Oh, sexy M&M's. Spoilers. Oh.
Who'd you rather take on a date?
Dude.
A sexy M&M or... Oh my gosh.
That's the kind of art you see throughout the whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. That's sick. Icarus. That's what they said the next one was going to be called. So it does connect.
All right. So the numbering of this one officially makes me angry.
Right. Because why not continue it?
I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense.
Who'd you rather take on a date, the Alien Queen or a M&M?
Eminem.
Really?
Yeah, because the Alien Queen will probably kill me.
Not if you're a good date, right? She seems reasonable.
I don't think there is any point where the Alien Queen wouldn't kill me. Even if I'm a good date, I think that's just her life.
You got to assume if she's on a date with you, like...
She wants to find love.
Yeah, she's looking for something, right?
But you're telling me the green M&M is not sexy?
No, I'm not telling you that.
Yeah.
I think they both have attractive qualities about them.
Yeah. Plus, you know, if you get all hot and spicy, you'll get melted chocolate.
I feel like that might be morbid if you're melting her.
No, it's just sweat. She sweats chocolate.
Oh.
Sonic music.
That's great. All right, yeah, we can end there.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, it's been episode number 281. You guys are the coolest. A huge shout out to everyone who supports us, whether that's on Patreon, whether that's on Instagram, whether that's listening to the podcast, whatever it is. You guys are the coolest. If you haven't yet, you can follow us all over the place at the Keep Up Podcast. That's TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. If you are watching, or even if you're not, and you feel like taking an extra maybe minute or so, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like the video if you're watching it, and if you haven't left us a review yet, you can do that too on iTunes.
Some of these aren't taped.
Why not? It's obnoxious.
How sick.
Have you read them yet?
No.
Oh, tape them as you read them.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Okay.
Tim, tell everybody where they can find your other work.
You guys can find me at Collection Revolution on Twitch, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Twitter, wherever you can find my face. YouTube, I post my Twitch VODs if you want. If you miss my live streams, you can see me play the games all over again.
Yeah.
But not live.
No.
So that's where you can find me. Collection Revolution all over the place.
What?
Where can everybody find you and your weird little elbows?
Why is it always like a weird part of me that you want people to find? I don't have any content like that on the internet.
You guys just haven't found it yet.
You can find me at This Drink I Like It on Instagram. That's my personal page. You can hit me up there. We can hang out there. But there's a link tree as well that has all my other work on there. So Tim's gonna do what's called End Babble.
But you can't use Alien.
And your theme for End Babble is taking an M&M on a date. Wow. Thanks, everybody. Love you. Bye. To Fun World.
The creamy chocolate center of the green M&M.
Am I going to have to put an explicit tag on this now?
The chocolate scent lures me to her M&M cave. Knocking on the cave wall, I say, "Hello!" And she goes, because M&Ms can't talk. And I say, "Would you like to go on a date to Fun World with me?" And she goes, and I take that as a yes. And I take the little green beauty and take her to play arcade games. First, it was Time Crisis. She wasn't very good. Then it was Time Crisis 2. And she still wasn't very good. But then we did that one that vibrates your hands from Star Trek, and her shell cracked a little, but she did good. She held on for a very long time. And then we ended our date with Whack-A-Mole, but what I didn't realize was she became one of the moles, and I crushed her. And her chocolatey goodness covered the moles, and I broke the machine. And our date, it was pretty great. And so I'll leave you with this. Love what you want. And whether it's a green M&M or that old man who's living in your house under the floorboard. Because everyone deserves it.